Okay, where are you from?
I'm from Washington, D.C. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Virginia, Maryland. I'm from pretty much the whole DMV, and then you can add New York in there.
I see. So can you break down the timeline?
Uh,
Born where,
New
and then when
York.
did you get, at what
Born in
age?
New York,
Born in
and
New York.
then came to D.C. and then lived in Virginia, and then lived in Maryland, and I went to boarding school in Baltimore, and then I came back to the Largo, Suitland, PG County type area for majority of my whole life.
Why so much moving around? What was the reasoning behind it?
I don't know. You guys are wrong.
So it was stuff out of your control.
Yeah, out of my control, and I mean the whole thing with the boarding school was like I got expelled, so that moving around was pretty much my fault. But
what did you get expelled for?
I got expelled for smoking weed in 9th grade.
And when you say boarding school, because when people tell me they've been expelled from school, they have to go to an alternative school. So was boarding like a way for you not to go to alternative school?
No, I actually won a lottery to get into the school, and that was pretty much it. It wasn't an alternative school or anything. It was like for like sports and math, and I was real artistic, so I just all busted and liked the junk. And I didn't like being away from home, so it was a lot to deal with, especially at that age. Like, I was in there from middle school to 9th grade. And once it was 9th grade, I was just like, bruh, fuck this shit. Like, I'm not about to stay here in these dirty-ass dorms. Like, no, I want my own room. Like, I'm tired of sharing with people I don't know. And from there came the rebellious phase, and then smoking weed, and then.
I see. Now, when you say boarding school, is that like an all-girls school or mix of everybody?
It was a mix of everybody. It
Okay.
was we were the first class of the entire school, actually. So it was 40 boys and 40 girls. So, by the time the first year was over, then it was like 30 boys and 30 girls. And then by the time I'm in 9th grade, it's only like 40 of us all together. Like, the school was super small. It was way too small. Like, I was not fucking with it at all. No.
Graduated boarding school, graduated high school?
Graduated high school. I went to public school, though. I went to Flowers.
Now, after high school's over, any thoughts on going to college?
Of course, I wanted to bring my mother that acceptance paper, but due to getting expelled, every college that I actually applied to rejected me.
Wow.
So I was fucking gah. And then, you know what I'm saying, like, whole lot of shit happened my senior year. My boyfriend, best friend, died. So I'm finishing the school year looking weak. Like, I don't want to be here type shit, and just out of there, for real. Never really was going. And then when it came down to graduation, I was like, bruh, like, that's the least I could do is walk across that stage. So I just put my big girl pants on, said fuck it, and just stopped playing around for that last month. But them teachers was not fucking with me. They was like still trying to like make me stay back and do extra stuff. I was like, bro, no. When I walked across that stage, I was so happy. I was like, at least I got this done. Step one.
Now, how did your boyfriend at that time pass, if you don't mind me asking?
The doctors say it was an asthma attack, but he used to drink lean, and he had asthma, and I just feel like that shit just fucked up his insides. Like, I don't fuck with that shit. I don't support that. I don't rock with that. That's not cool to me. I seen somebody that I really love die off of something so recreational,
Now, when I talk to a lot of people about lean usage and codeine and cough syrup and stuff, a lot of people have told me that they have not personally seen or heard of a person actually dying from, that drug.
You know what? I just feel as though, like, it's things sometimes when people deal with death, it's things that they tell themselves just to keep going, But I feel like that's what tied to it, because that don't do your body no justice. So I don't give a fuck whether it was this or that. That was a part of it. Like, you don't need to be drinking that. That's not for that. You know what I'm saying? The doctors give you that. You coughing. You ain't coughing. You don't need to take it. Like, what the fuck? What are you taking that shit for? It's not cool.
I see. Now, okay, so after you're done with high school, where does music come into play? Is that when you take music serious, or are you doing other things and then music comes serious later? or how does that evolve?
I had my first mixtape out when I was in high school, actually, 2014. I was in the 10th grade. That joint was cool, I guess. It was popping within my high school, but I wasn't old enough to do nothing. So shows rolling around, people like, hey, can I book you? And my mother's like, the fuck? No. So after I got out of high school, I was like, okay, I could drop songs here and there, but then I found out I was pregnant. So then it was just like, oh my God, break again. Like, you can't do nothing now. So I'm pregnant, and then after I had my son, it was like, I don't know, like something just sparked in me. He made me feel like a kid again. He made me want to like write and just be who I am. So thank him for that.
Now, how old were you when you had your son?
I was 18.
I see. Tough? Is that tough? I mean, an 18-year-old now is almost an adult, so to speak, right? Or treated like an adult. Yeah. So having a son at 18, was that hard to deal with?
That shit was scary. It was real scary. That whole finding out, not knowing what the fuck to do, and telling your parents, so scary. But I felt like within that year, just taking L's and bouncing back, I guess that was just my thing. Because after I had my son, it made me a go-getter. Like, I got a job, and then, you know what I'm saying, I'm working, and I don't never ask, I still to this day, like my son, a year and some change, and I never asked my mother for no money for my son or my dad, nothing. Like, I just made sure that whatever I could do, I did. Because that's the point of being a mother. Like, you just love unconditionally. It threw me off guard, but once he was there, it was like, what? He's so amazing. Like, I wouldn't trade this for the world. Like, this is beautiful.
Now, what was your parents' reaction when they found out you were pregnant? Were they surprised? Were they disappointed? Were they upset? Were they shocked?
Well, nobody in my family, in my immediate family, really had any babies. And, you know, everybody loves babies. But hell no, they didn't want to hear that shit. Like, girl, you're not married. You don't have no car. You don't got no job. You not going to college, and now you about to have a baby. You done, like, you're done. Put a fork in it, like, you're done. They wasn't letting me do nothing. They was pissed. My mother was so disappointed. She was so disappointed, and I was so embarrassed that I embarrassed her like that. But now look at me. Gang, gang. So, yeah. But, you know, everything paid off in the end, so.
What's the toughest thing about being a teenage parent? And going through that time?
Well, I think the toughest thing is growing up and realizing that when you move, they move with you. Like, you can't just, you know, some bitches want to fight you at the club. You can't just go fight some bitches at the club, because these bitches, they go home to suck dick or something, and you got a baby. Like, you got a whole life that you got to raise. You got to take that shit serious. That's why, you know what I'm saying, in the beginning of this rap shit, people throwing you money, bullshit money to go anywhere. Nah, bruh. Nah. You got to be very picky with what the hell, like, get you out the house and get you away from your kid, because them moments precious. Like, when he first started walking, I was there. You know, I don't want to miss no milestones. So I just I'm very aware of that. I don't think it's nothing too hard about being a parent. You know, if you want some little kid shit, it's hard, but I don't know. I feel like it was meant to happen like that.
You ever seen that show on MTV called Teen Mom?
Yeah.
Is that an accurate depiction of maybe what you went through or what you experienced, or is Teen Mom in that TV show totally different from being a real teen
No
mom?
shade or nothing. Them bitches y'all ratchet. Like, I don't know none of that baby daddy beefing. I don't know none of that. Like, I take care of mine. I don't worry about none of that other shit. Somebody got a problem with what I'm doing with my kid. Did you push him out? Are you me? No. Next. Like, don't tell me how to raise my kid. I know what I'm doing. And if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to ask my parents. And if they don't know, I'm going to ask God. So I don't need your opinion. You know what I'm saying? I don't need none of that.
Once your son was born, were your parents helpful or supportive after that, or was it still like kind of you doing your thing on your own?
My parents were, I don't really know how they feel about it, because after I had my kid, it was like a sense of independence that I gained. Like, I stopped needing them for things. So, you know, their grandparents were from a distance. You know, I don't live with neither one of my parents. I live on my own with my dude and my baby. And we just live. Like, my parents, they love how free and how positive I'm making my life after seeing me go through so much sadness when I lost my best friend. So they just proud of anything that make me happy. So, yeah, they loved him once he was born.
Now, also, like in a bunch of Teen Mom episodes, I've seen several instances where the baby father's not in the life, didn't really support after the baby was born.
Maybe that should be wild.
Maybe they were there for a little bit, then they go.
Laugh, dip out.
Yeah.
I don't really like talking about this. I just don't like talking about it. But, you know, I talk about him like he's my best friend because that's really what I knew him as and my boyfriend. But he was my child's father, too. So that was rough, along with losing him and him not having that. But then I met my manager, who is my boyfriend. And, I mean, he's been with me through my son's whole life, pretty much. Like, he took that shit like it was nothing. Like, he loved my son so much, and I love him for that, and my son loves him, and it's really beautiful. But you know, I don't know, would I rather have a nigga that ain't there or be in a situation that I'm in, but I can't question God, so.
I see. But your baby father didn't get a chance to see son being born.
No.
I see.
He didn't even get the chance to know.
Sorry to hear that.
I don't want to be sad right now. Like, oh my God, stop. Don't do this. Let's talk about something happy. Let's talk about happy things.
Now, growing up, even before you got into high school and music and stuff like that and took the music craft seriously, did you have a rough upbringing? Would you say your upbringing was rough?
You know, I don't want to throw my mother under the rug or nothing, because she did the best that she could. I didn't grow up with no damn silver spoon. I didn't grow up with shit handed to me. I work for everything I got. So I didn't grow up like, oh my God, I hate my life. But I definitely did grow up like, bro, what the fuck? All my friends got these nice ass houses. Why the fuck is we living in the trenches? Like, why do I go to school with them if they live in these beautiful ass houses and I live in the motherfucking slums? Like, this is not fair. And then you that cute ass girl at school, but when you get on the bus, bitch, you're still going to the trenches. Like, you could be the baddest bitch, but at the end of the day, you still going you're going to the hood. So, you know, that was just, like, I was always kind of like to myself in high school, so nobody really knew where I lived, but they always would assume I lived in a nice house, and then when they get to my house, they'd be like, kid, you got some depth to you.
Now, what's your advice to somebody that's maybe going through the same experience? Maybe cute girl, but, you know, has in the trenches, and has to deal with that. What would you say to that girl?
Girl, keep your head on straight. Stay away from them drug dealers. Stay away from them dope boys. Be you. Be you, because that's one thing about living in the hood. Like, they gonna see that shit. They gonna see if you not yourself. Like, if they meet you, and the first time they meet you, you weird, you your own person, you quirky, you just who you want to be, they gonna fuck with you because they know that's you. But if you come around, oh yeah, gang this, gang that, and then the next day you're like, oh, like, they're not gonna fuck with that. That's fake. So I guess if you're gonna be pretty, be smart. You know what to do with it.